wasn't just a tool, just an element we can use, an optional element. ICT has become essential in all the parts of our life, and so they are in the education. During the lockdown, this use of technology was proved to be a good option to continue the educational process. This led to a change of perception. The idea from the reluctance that it was replaced by acceptance as a means to be saved from the chaos and a solution from the continuity of education. So it was a great tool during the pandemic. Now everyone has assumed that the digital technologies have to be present in our education, and in some cases in the head of it. In our case, we are the National Institute of Education and Technologies and Teaching Training of the Ministry of Education, and we are the unit that coordinates the technology in education. And after March 2020, all the eyes turned to us. So since then, we start many projects that have been launched by the ministry and now are coordinated by us. So we are one of the most basic parts of the ministry after the pandemic. But we know that also the ICT has, and the pandemic showed us some weakness that we need to solve, like digital divide or something like that. The weakness, like I said, the digital device is, we have to see it in two parts. One of them is about the lack of devices, of the connectivity, because usually of socioeconomic conditions, or and the other one is the digital competence. The pandemic has shown us that there is a group of citizens without the basic digital skills that, in the case of the families during the lockdown, they couldn't help their children in their school activities. So it's very important that these socioeconomic conditions, but also the digital competence. To cover the digital divide about the lack of devices or connectivity, I think it's easy. I mean, easy, but we know how to do that. No, it's just about budget. But the second one is it's more complex. The digital competence needs a complete program. In Spain, we have launched different projects to try to close this digital divide. About the students, the new curriculum is focusing in the basic competence, 8 of them proposed by the Council of Europe. One of them is the digital. The teachers, we just have published a new framework of the digital competence of the teachers, and we are developing a program to teach and train all of our teachers, more than 700,000 teachers, creating a certification in digital competence based on this new framework. And as I said before, we need to cover all the society, isn't it? So about the rest of the society, the government have launched different projects to improve the digital competence of citizens in general, public service, small companies. So we need to cover it by all the phases. About the second, this is the idea, isn't it? So students, teachers, and society, families. The practice before March 2020, I think, is impossible. There have been so many changes and in our schools, and teachers, students, families, all of them are asking for different schools. And in this different school, we need the technologies. The pandemic showed us the benefits of these digital technologies in the education. Now, the difference with the pandemic period, the lockdown period, we have more resources, we have more information, we have more training, knowledge, initiatives, and good practices to share with others. So we have the implication of families and other school agents, but they can do it on their own. They need the help of the administration, and they need to go accompany this trip. They need funds, they need support, and they need training. But I think we have made a step that we are not going to coming back. Digital competence. So it's the way that you use the digital technologies to improve your methodology. How to teach digitalization to your students is not how to use a computer. It is the citizen competence. Not it's more focused on the methodology, the educational way to use these technologies. So how to create resources, how to protect the privacy, how to teach this digital competence. So we divide it in different levels from A to C, and not focus on all of the teachers need to be in the C. The C is from the people that are innovating, are sharing information about digitalization. But the idea is that the teachers became more or less the medium level, the intermediate, the B level. That is the usual use of the technology in your class. Is based on a European initiative called the Future Classroom Lab. For us, first of all, it's not about technology, it's about methodology. It's not just equipment. The equipment is a tool. It's a different way to understand the teaching and the learning. We use different learning spaces. They are distributed according to the development of students' competence, but not about the content. It depends on the competence of the students. It combines, as I said, methodology and technology, and the role of the technology is a tool. We need to accompany by training, support, but it's not the end. The teacher is like a guide, and the students are active learners. As I said, the technology is going to be a tool in these cases. We need to plan this use of technology. When we bring the technology to the education, we need to plan that. So we offer the idea of a school digital plan that all the schools need to do to create this program, to know how they are going to use these digital technologies. And one of these essential parts is this, how to use this technology is the classroom of the future. We launched the first classroom 6 years ago in Madrid, but the last year we have decided to review the program and with the collaboration with different companies and the autonomous communities in Spain, we are creating a web of classroom of the future around the country. The idea is not to create this classroom for the students, because there are going to be places to train the teachers. So they are going to different courses in this classroom of the future, and they can learn how to use the technology and implement that in their own classrooms. It's 120 meters with a lot of technology, and we can reply in all of the classes in Spain. It's a place to learn. You know, you can see different elements, the use of technology, the different spaces that you can take wherever you want and wherever you need to your classroom. In education from 2 points of view. On one hand, IA as a subject in the curriculum, something we have to know how it works, is important for the students. They need to know the basic elements of artificial intelligence, not just for the labor market or different jobs they are going to do, but also as future citizens. They need to know these basic elements of IA to understand the world that they are living and the world that they will live, that the IA is going to be more present. But on the other hand, the IA need to be a tool in education. We are thinking in two options that we think the IA will help. On one hand, there is amount of data about the education system, this amount of data. We have information about the results, the socioeconomic conditions, and this information and this data could help us to correctly direct the efforts to prevent some situations. For example, the school failure. We know that students that their results when he's 5 years old and the socioeconomic conditions say that he is going to fail in the education, let's going to focus and put the resources there. And on the other hand, we think that IA can help in teacher learning process. For us, the idea is that IA should help giving us some orientations towards a more personalized education. We need personalized education. We know that it works. So IA can help us to show resources specific for some students, and the IA will help in that. But for us, it's really important, and we agree with the European Commission and UNESCO that we can talk about IA without mentioning the humanistic point of view and the use and the respect of the rights of more that we are talking about the students. So for us, it's very important. Example, I mean, I have a student that he doesn't like the language class, so let's try to, with the information that we have, instead of using a poem of the 18th century, let's use a song on the 21st century. And the idea that it works with him, this rap, I mean, this song rap or hip hop song with him, and let's use Shakespeare for this one. The idea of personality is the different resources will work because they are going to learn the same. The focus, the contents are the same, but the resources are different, and this is the idea of individualization. So now we have a huge budget because of the European funds that after the pandemic, but we need to, it needs to be continuous. So in 10 years, we need these resources because we need to have this equipment that it needs to be the real one, the actually one. But on the other hand, we need to be faster in the changes. When the world changes a lot and the education changes a lot, and it needs to be so the faster that the life is. So I don't know how it's going to be the life after 20 years, but we need to have education linked to this life.